Namaskar. Welcome to this session on the series of Bhagavad Geeta overview. Today's topic is Adhyaya 10 and the 11th. We start with a prayer. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. The vision of Sri Bhagavad Geeta, and which is the crux of the knowledge of the Vedanta and Upanishad, is that there is one divinity. And this is what we must try to understand, to know how we can understand and finally understand that everything is one. All the Jiva, Jagata, Ishvara, everything is intertwined into just one divinity. And this is the crux of the Mahavakyas of Upanishads like Tattvamasi or Aham Brahmasmi. And the same vision we can achieve by doing the sadhana, which is the path of the spiritual path, by Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Jnana Yoga, and to get this understanding of the real self, our own Atma Swarupa, or the knowledge of the Brahma, the knowledge of the eternal divinity. In the first 6 adhyayas, Bhagavan Shree Krishna talks predominantly about the Jiva, the Tvam Padartha or the Aham Padartha. And what is the real understanding of this? That I am not this body, mind, self, but I am the Atma Tattva, I am the Atma Swarupa. And here the karma is the most important marga or the means for Shuddhi. It is the main sadhana for Shuddhi. From the 7th to the 12th adhyayas, the description is more about Ishvara Tattva. What is that Ishvara? What is the Brahman? What is that eternal divinity? How we can understand, connect with that divinity, that is Bhakti Pradhana. So the 10th and the 11th adhyaya is formed within this understanding. And the final 6 adhyaya is to understand this Aikya, understand this oneness within everything that has been described so far. The divinity, the Lord, has different forms. As we understand, the Lord is the Avatar Swarupa or Saguna Sakar Swarupa, as Bhagavaan, as Rama, Krishna, etc. But our Shastras tell us that Ishvara is the Nimitta Upadana Karana of this universe, means it's a creator and is part of the creation. And part of the creation means divinity is pervaded everywhere in this universe. We often say that God is omnipresent, is everywhere. But why can I see the God everywhere? And that is why the 10th and the 11th adhyaya talk about the Vibhuti and the Virat Swarupa of the Lord, Ishvara. Vibhutis is the manifestations of the divinity everywhere. And Virat Swarupa is the form of the Lord in this entire universe, in the Brahmanda, as the Vishwas Rupa Darshana. And this is the crux of the understanding of the 10th and the 11th adhyaya. So in the 9th adhyaya, which is called the Raja Vidya, Raja Guhya Yoga, Bhagavan described that divinity, that knowledge. Again, talked about the devotion, how we can achieve that. It says, Patram Pushpam Palam Toyam, Yat Karoshi, Yadadnashi, Yadjuhoshi, give me everything, do that bhakti sadhana, and you will be able to attain. And finally at the end, he says, Man Mana Bhava Mad Bhakta, put your mind in me, be my devotee, do all the yagna karma according to surrender to me, and finally you should attain me. And this is how we can understand the divinity, and this is what is the crux of the 10th adhyaya, that is called the Vibhuti Yoga. So Vibhuti Yoga is to see the manifestations of Lord everywhere. Ishvara Tattva, Aishwarya of the Ishvara, where all these energies, everything comes from the Lord. We can't see it, though in the eyes of the Lord, everything is manifested. It's divine. But though we can't see it, so we have to start somewhere. And that is where we have to start, from all the forms and the names which are familiar to us. From there, we have to see the main salient, areas where, most important areas, we can start seeing divinity there. And then we can gradually, that is the vibhutis of the Lord. And then gradually we can go to Vishwarupa. And then we can see Lord everywhere, omnipresent Lord. So this is the 10th adhyaya, that is the Vibhuti Yoga, the divine manifestations of the Lord. And 11th adhyaya is the Vishwarupa Darshana, the cosmic form of the Lord. So let us start with the 10th adhyaya, Vibhuti Yoga. Initially, Bhagavan describes what are the Vibhutis, the benefits of knowing it, then describes the Bhakti path. And then Arjuna prays to Lord that he wants to see these Vibhutis. And then finally, from the 19 to the 42 second shloka, Bhagavan describes all his vibhutis and his yoga shakti. So let's start with the first shloka. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Bhuya Eva Mahabaho Shrunu Me Paramam Vachaha Yatte Ham Priyamanaya Vakshyami Hita Kamyaya. So Krishna again pledges to tell Arjuna this highest divine knowledge. He says, I'm telling you because Yatteham Priyamanaya, you are very dear to me, Arjuna, and that's why for your own hita, for your own kalyan, for your own upliftment, I'm going to tell you all my vibhutis, all my manifestations, how I'm there in this universe. And he starts saying that no one knows me completely because I am the origin of everyone. He says, Name Vidu Suragana, no devtas know me, Maharshis, Rishis, no one knows me because Aham Adihi Devana. I am the originator of the devas, all the Rishis, all the Munis, they all arise from me, and that's why no one knows me completely. That's how Paramatma is considered to be the Karana, the cause, the universal cause of all this Jagata, the Karya, the effect. And one who knows me is relieved from all the bondage. So Bhagavan says, one who knows me truly in my real essence. And what is that essence of the Tattvic Sarupa of the Lord? Bhagavan says, Ajam Anadimcha. Ajam means I'm unborn. I have never been taking birth. I'm Anadi. I have no beginning. I have no end. I'm eternal. One who knows me, one Vetti, Loka Maheshwaram, as a Lord of all these beings, Maheshwara, that person, Sarva Papai Pramuchyate Martyeshu. In this Martyaloka, he gets, relieved of all the Papa impurities, Ashuddhis, sins, and gets and attains the Almighty Divinity. And then Bhagavan in the next two shlokas talks about all these bhava. Bhava means all these Yog Shakti powers, or we can say Devi Sampatti, all these good values that we think are because of my own. We always generally associate that I have a lot of intellect, I have a lot of knowledge, I have a lot of, I have forgiveness, I have many good qualities. That is what I feel. But Bhagavan says, all these know that it all comes from me. Buddhi, Gnana, Asammoha means absence of delusion, Shama, forgiveness, Satya, honesty, Dhamma, control over the sense organs, Shama, mind control. Bhagavan says, Sukha, Dukkha, Bhava, Abhava, Bhaya, Abhaya, everything, all these bhavas, Matta eva pruthak vidar. Bhagavan says all these attributes, all these that you think that you possess, they are all coming from me, and that's why I don't have this hallucination that it is all yours. Similarly, he says ahimsa, all these non-violence, samata, equipoise, tushti, satisfaction, tapa, some kind of control over self by penance or by some kind of voluntary endurance of pain, dana, yasha, fame, ayasha, disrepute, and all these different attributes, they all matta eva pruthak vida. He says they are all due to me, they all come from me. And then he says that I am the beginning of all Maharshi. Sapta Maharshi are the 7 great rishis, the Saptarshi, and the Chatvara Manuhu, the 4 types of Manu, who are the original descendants, or the first people in this world. They are all arising from me, and they are born from my mind. Bhagavan says, Manasa Srushti, the Manavas Tatha. They are because of Bhagavan's Sankalpa, this Srushti has started. And from there, the entire Praja, entire world, universe was, all the other Jivas were born from that. Bhagavan says, I am that Adihi, I am that beginningless. And the benefit of knowing Bhagavan's Vibhuti and Bhagavan's Yoga, he says, how he has created this manifestation and what are his powers. If somebody understands this truly, Bhagavan says, so saha avikampena yogena ujyate, means avikampena means that steadfast yoga, that sthita prajna, that wiseness. They develop this kind of a sthita prajna yoga realization where there is sarvatra paramatma buddhi, there is God everywhere, there is omnipresent God, and there is no doubt about it. That is what they will achieve. And in our Shastra, Vedanta and Upanishads, Ishvara is defined as the abhinna nimitta upadana karana, means Bhagavan is not just the nimitta karana, the instrumental cause or the creator of the universe, just like the ghada is made by the kumbhar. Similarly, God creates the universe, and all the religions believe this way. But our Sanatana Dharma is the only one which believes that not only God is the instrumental cause, but is also the upadana karana. Upadana karana means he is the material cause of this creation. The mati of the ghada, from which the ghada is made, it also is Lord. So Lord manifests everywhere, is the material cause of this creation, and that's why he is part of this creation. And this one together, this is not two forms of Lord. Nimitta and Upadan Karan is merged into one divinity, and that is what the Lord is. And the common example given in our Shastras is spider. As he creates a web from his own saliva, he is the instrumental cause and is the Nimitta and the Upadana Karana and of the Ishvara. Similarly, the Jagata is formed from Ishvara. And Bhagavan says, I am the origin of everything, Aham Sarvasya Prabhavaha, and everything is inspired by me. Everything, I am the Prerak, I am the Antaryami. By knowing this, how everything comes from me and how we can devote or meditate to the Lord, the Bhagavan says, intelligent people, these Buddhaha, those intelligent or Viveki, wise people, they out of their love, they devote to me and they understand this divinity. And that is what we need to do in our life, that whenever we see any karya, any effect, we have to look and think about the cause, the karan drashti. We have to think, what is the cause of this? All these objects, the cause is the Panch Mahabhuta, Maya, and then the cause of that is the Ishvara. So we will go to the Ishvara, and that is how we can think in all these places. We can think about the Lord. Similarly, all these energies, all the bhava and everything that Bhagavan has described, everything comes from the Lord. He is the inspiration for all. He is the behind the source, the energy for everything in this world. And if this is the way we devote to the Lord, then we can reduce our attachments and we can see this Sarvatra Ishvara Buddhi, Vasudevam Sarvamiti, that kind of vision we can have. And what is the life of such a devotee? Bhagavan says, whenever they meet, they are all devoted to me constantly. And when they meet, they inspire each other. They always talk about me and they are contented and they are constantly connected to me. And what is the benefit of this kind of devotion? If you keep devoting to the Lord, what will the benefit? Bhagavan says, those who keep connected to me like this, constantly with love, they devote to me. What Bhagavan does for them? Bhagavan says, Dadami Buddhi Yogam Tam. I give them the pure intellect, Shuddha Buddhi, so that what they can do with this? Yena Mam Upayanti. They can achieve me, they can attain me. It is said that the God attainment of this path to divinity requires not just a high IQ. That is not what is required. Just Tikshna Buddhi is not required. What is required, Guruji says, is Sukshma Buddhi. You need very subtle power to discriminate this, what Bhagavan is telling us. And that kind of Buddhi, Bhagavan says, I will give the devotee, I will give the biggest gift to that devotee. And with this, what they will do, and why does Bhagavan does this have kind of a grace? Bhagavan says, just because of my anukampa, my sheer compassion for them, I destroy the darkness of ignorance and I kindle the light of knowledge in them. And that is the special grace that Bhagavan bestows on all his devotees. With this, Arjuna understands this divinity of the Lord and now praises the Lord, bows down to Bhagavan and does a prayer to him. He says, now I understand, Krishna, that you are the Supreme Lord, you are Param Brahma, you are Brahma Swarupa, you are Param Dhama, you are the final destination, you are Pavitram Paramam Bhavan, you are the most auspicious of all, the eternal Shashvata, you are the eternal Deva, Divyam Adi Devam, you are the Adi, you are the origin of everyone, and Ajam, you are unborn, you are indestructible, Vibhum, you are vast, you are omnipresent, you are everywhere, you manifest everywhere. This is how now Arjuna understands Krishna, that he is not just this Manusha Avatar Swarup, but he is the eternal Krishna Swarupa, the Ishwar Swarupa, and he accepts this Ishwaratva with lot of faith. He says, not only Rishis and Devarshis like Narad and all the Sita, Devala and Ved Vyasa describes you like this, but you yourself have told me that you are that eternal splendor, that Param Purusha. And now he says, I believe you completely, I show you, I believe that this is the truth. Your personalities, your manifestations cannot be named. Na vidu, na deva, na danavaha. Devas or danavas cannot understand you. Only you can tell yourself completely. And that's why he says, you only know yourself completely. You are the origin, you are the Lord of all the beings, and you are the nurturer of this universe. And that's why Arjuna now prays to Lord that I want to see your divine manifestations, your vibhutis. Only you are capable of describing yourself completely with all your divine manifestations, how you pervade in this entire world, how you manifest from one to many. You are one, but how you are everywhere. I want to listen to this. This secret I want to understand. That is what Arjuna tells Krishna. And he says, where all can I see you? I want to see you, but where, in which places, which objects, which forms, where can I see you? What are those vibhutis? What are those divine manifestations? I want to connect to you, O Lord Krishna. Please show me. And he says, please tell me Vistaren Atmano, in details, all your vibhutis, yoga, and all your connections. I want to listen. I'm still not satisfied. He says, Na truptihi, I am still not satisfied. That's why please tell me all this. And Bhagavan is ready to describe. He says, Hanta, okay, Arjuna, I'm going to tell you all my divine manifestations, but I'll go only tell you Pradhanyata. Pradhanyata means the main ones only, because there is no end. There is no end to my expanse of divine manifestations. If I start telling it, this Gitaji will not end. And that's why I'll just tell you all the main manifestations where I am there, because Hari or divinity is endless. And that's why Bhagavan also tells the same thing here. And he starts describing his vibhutis. He shows which are the places that I am. You can see me everywhere. But he starts from the first thing. He says, Aham Atma. He says, I am your Atma. Arjuna, understand that you are an Atma and Paramatma. Ishvara is the same. It is the same Chaitanya. The same consciousness is everywhere. And Bhagavan says that this is what first you have to understand. Sarva Bhuta Shayastita. I am there in all the divinity, all the beings, everywhere. I am the cause of this world. I am the origin, present, and end of all these worlds. And then he goes on to describe in all the different places how we can see the Lord. In the best places, he describes the divinity. He says, I am Vishnu in all the Adityas. Adityas are the Aditi's 12 sons, all the Devas. He says, I am Vishnu. I am the Jyotisham Raviranchuman. I am the sun rays in all that illuminates. I am the Marichi in all the 49 wind gods. Marutam Asmi. I am the Nakshatras. I am the Shashi. I am the moon in all the 27 planets. So in the daytime, we can see Lord as the sun. In the nighttime, we can see the Lord as the moon. We can see God everywhere. Bhagavan is now describing his vibhutis. He says, I am Samaveda in 4 Vedas. I am Indra in all the Devatas. Indra is the king of all the Devas. And I am the mind amongst all the senses, because mind is very powerful. It can gather all the information gathered from all the 5 senses. And I am the intellect in all the beings. I am Chetana. I am the consciousness, or I am the intellect. In all the 11 Rudras, I am Shankara. I am in all the Yakshas and Rakshas. I am the Vittesha, Kuber, who is the treasurer of the Lord, who is the finance minister of all the Devas. I am the fire in the 8 Vasus, and I am Meru in all the mountains. Shankara and Vishnu, Bhagavan says, all these are my forms. I am just one divinity who manifests everywhere in different forms. I am the Brahaspati in all the priests. I am Kartikeya, Skandaha, in all the Senanis, all the warrior chiefs or the Senapatis. And I am the ocean in all the large reservoirs, because it's massive. The oceans are very vast, and we can feel God everywhere, which can make us more humble. I am the Brigu in all the rishis. I am the Om in all the spoken words. I am chanting Japa Yagna, he says, in all the Yagnas. And I am a Himalaya in all the Stavaranam, all the immovable objects. So we can start seeing God somewhere, so that later on we can see God everywhere. Similarly, he says, I am Ashwatta Sarva Vrukshanam. In all the trees, I am the people tree. In all the Devarshis, I am Narada. In all the Gandharvas, I am Chitraratha. And in all the wise, realized people who are wise, I am Kapila Muni. He was a great sage. He always used to be in meditation. In all the horses, see me as Uchchai Shravasa, and in all the elephants, you see me as Airavata, because these are the ones, the divine ones which were produced during the Samudra Mantana. And see me as the king in all the humans, because the king is definitely the lord of all the, means they are the king of all the Manushyas. In all the weapons, see me as Vajra. In all the cows, I am the Kamadhenu. In progeny, I am the desire. And in all the snakes, I am Vasuki. In all the Nagas, I am the Shesh Naga. That is the one who protects the Vishnu. And in all the water bodies, I am Varuna Deva. In all the Pitrunam, Aryama Chasmi. In all the forefathers, I am King Aryama. In all the lawmakers, I am the Yama. And in demons, I am like Prahlada, because he was a great devotee of the Lord, though he was a demon. And in all that counts, I am time, Kalaha, Kalayamatamaham. In all the animals, I am the lion, considered to be the king of the forest. And in all the birds, I am Garuda, because it can fly for long periods of time. And in all that creates purity, I am wind. In all the armed people, I am Ram, because he is considered to be the Maryada Purushottama. He has a lot of control over himself, though he has the best weapons with him. And in all the reptiles, I am crocodile. In all the flowing rivers, I am Srotasam, Asmi Jhanavi, I am Ganges. And he says, Sarganam Adi Anta, everything. I am the beginning, present, and end of the universe. And Adhyatma Vidya Vidyanam. I am this divine spiritual knowledge. Out of all the knowledge, don't just get worried about this material knowledge. Try to get this divine knowledge. And in all the people that who discuss Vadaha Pravadatamaham, I am the dialogue. Because dialogue is considered to be the highest form of communication. Even Gita Ji is in the form of the dialogue between Shree Krishna and Arjuna, Samvada Yoho. And that is how dialogue is very, very good form of communication. In all the alphabets, he says, I am the Akshara Anam Akarosmi, the A, because A goes before all the alphabets or all the words. And in all the Dvandva, all the pair of words, I am the duality, I am the eternal time, I am the nurturer, and I am the all the actions. And then finally says, Mrityu Sarva Harashchaham. I am the death which takes away everything at one point, at one stroke. Udbhavascha Bhavishyatam. And I am the one who is to be created in the future again. I am Kirti, the fame. I am Shri, the wealth. And I am Vak, the speech. What you speak, everything, I am there. And I am the Smruti, the memory that holds the knowledge, the Medha, the power to retain our knowledge, Truti, the patience, and Shama, the forgiveness. And all these qualities which are predominantly found in women, he says, they're all through me. And then he says, I am Bruhat Sam in Samaveda, I am in the meter, I am the Gayatri meter. In the months, I am Makshara, and in seasons, he says, Rutunam Kusumakara. Kusumakara means the spring where all the flowers blossom. And Dyutam, he says, in the gamblers, I am the game of dice. In the brilliant people, Tejas Vinamaham. I am their brilliance. We should not boast about our goodness. And in all the decisions of the intellectuals, I am the success. And he says, in all the Sattvic people, I am the Sattva Guna. And most of the time, Sattvic people have a lot of pride about over their own being good. But we must understand that all this is because of His grace that flows through us. Vrushinam Vasudevosmi. Vrushina is the Kula, the dynasty of the Vrushinis. I am the Vasudeva. In Pandavas, I am Arjuna. In all the Munis, I am Veda Vyasa. And in all the poets, I am Ushana Kavihi, the Shukracharya, who is the guru of the demons. And in all the suppressors, I am the punishment. I am the right strategy in the victorious. In secrets, I am the silence. And in the wise people, I am their knowledge. O Arjuna, in all these beings, see me as the seed. Just like the seed and the tree is inseparable. Similarly, God and this world is inseparable. And there is nothing which is separate from me. That is what you should understand. And also understand that there is no end to my divine manifestations. Whatever I've told you is just one part. And it is not possible to describe my divine manifestations completely. But you try to understand that whatever glory, prosperity, wealth, enthusiasm or energy you see anywhere, understand that this originates from just one small part of my ekankshena, tejansh, ansha, one small part of my teja. That is my powers, that is my eternal yoga shakti. And this is a very small fraction of the power that you are seeing in this universe. Or Arjuna, just what benefit do you have by knowing more? Just understand, he gives them a summary that I behold this entire universe by just one small part. Kritsna Eva, this entire universe by Ekanshena Sthito Jagata. The entire Jagata is just by one small part. I'm holding this. That is how you try to see me. Whatever you see in this world, try to see me. That is what Bhagavaan tells him. And in the 11th Adhyaya now is going to show him the Vishwarupa Darshana, the practical experience of these vibhutis everywhere. And the 10th Adhyaya, what is that? We need to understand that Ishvara's glory, his vibhutis, his manifestations, his divinity is everywhere. And the yoga is the way we can connect to these manifestations. When God says, I am everywhere, does not mean that he is egoistic, he has pride. He has no pride because he is Sarva Vyapaka. There is no, we Jivas have a lot of pride and ego because we are attached to our own limited self. Whereas Bhagavaan has, his ego does not, there is no, because it's Shuddha Aham, it does not have any Ashuddha Aham in any limitations. And that's why we can think of God somewhere and then later on we can see the Lord everywhere. It helps us to annihilate our pride that I have done something. This pride, I'm the doer, that is our biggest obstacle. And by seeing Lord's greatness everywhere, His humility, like ocean, that vastness, we can see that we are just a drop in that ocean. And with this understanding, we can go ahead in our sadhana. With this, I come to the end of the 10th Adhyaya. Om Tat Sata Iti Srimad Bhagavad Geetasu Upanishatsu Brahma Vidyayam Yoga Shastre Shree Krishna Arjuna Samvade Vibhuti Yogo Nama Dashamodhyaya. Now let's start the 11th Adhyaya, which is the Vishwarupa Darshana, which is seeing the cosmic form of the Lord. And Arjuna wants to see this cosmic form in the incarnate Swarupa. And that's why I request God to show him this form. He first does his stuti and then shows that whether if he is eligible, please God. It shows that the devotee must be surrendered to the Lord, and only with the grace of the Lord this is possible. So let's start with the first shloka. Arjuna uvacha madanugrahaya paramam guhyam adhyatma sangnitam yatva yuktam vachastena mohoyam vigato mama. Arjuna says, with your grace, you have given me this secret knowledge of the Atman, which is generally very guhya, always remains hidden. And with this, mohoyam vigato mama, my moha, my delusions, all is gone completely. Now I understand what you are saying. I know what you are, what is your Aishwarya, what is your Swarupa. You are not this Manush Avtara, you are Ishvara. And then he says, Arjuna now prays to the Lord, makes, he says, Kamal Patraksha. Oh Krishna, your eyes are like lotus petals. You are the origin. I have heard from you that you are the Bhavapyayo hi Bhutanam. You are the origin and dissolution of all the beings. I have heard your Mahatmya, api Avyayam. Avyayam means indestructible splendor, that Aishwarya, Swarupa. I have heard about you, what you are. And now Arjuna says, I have a desire to see you, Lord. Because whatever we hear, some good things, one of the best things, we would like to see those places. Similarly, now Arjuna has now the desire to see the Lord in his cosmic form. He says, what you are the same, I have a desire to see you with your complete splendor. And Arjuna now requests to Krishna to show him the Vishwarupa, and then says, only if I am eligible, then only please show me, Lord, because you are the Lord of all yogis, and please manifest me your perennial, your Atma Avyaya, Atma Swarupa. And then he puts his request and puts it into the surrenders to the Lord. And then Bhagavaan says, Shri Bhagavaan uvacha Pashya me partha rupani Shatashotha sahasrashaha Nana vidhani divyani Nana varna kruti nicha. Bhagavaan accepts Arjuna's request. He says, Pashya, see. Bhagavaan says, Arjuna, see my hundreds and thousands of different forms. I'm going to show you all those celestial forms of different colors and shapes, he says. And what you are going to see in this, Bhagavaan is now describing that you are going to see all the Adityas, the 12 sons of Aditi, 8 Vasu, 11 Rudras, 2 Ashwini Kumar, 49 Maruta Gana, all the Devtas, and many, many other astonishing things which you have never seen earlier. And then he says, where you are going to see this? He says, Mama Dehe Gudakesha. Oh Gudakesha, in this body of my own, you are going to see at one place the entire Sachara Chara Jagat. You are going to see the moving, the in-moving, the non-living beings, everything you are going to see. And Yachanya Drashtumichasi, and whatever else you desire to see, you will be able to see in this, in my one body, he says. But then he tells Arjuna that you cannot see this with your normal eyes. You need divine chakshu, you need divine chakshu or, the divya chakshu. And Bhagavan then tells Arjuna that the divyam dadhami te chakshu, I'm going to give you this. Don't worry, you have the samarthya, you have the eligibility. I'm going to give you this divya chakshu, pashya me yoga maishwaram, with which you can see my divine splendor. And then Lord becomes silent and he unfolds his cosmic form. And when he unfolds his cosmic form, Sanjay now starts describing the cosmic form of the Lord. In the next 6 shlokas, he says, the Lord, he shows Arjuna his divine, majestic form, the splendor. And now he's describing this divine cosmic form. He says, Aneka Vaktram, Aneka Adbhuta Darshanam. With all these different faces, many, many different eyes, unbelievable forms, which are indescribable, many wearing so many divine costumes and holding many divine weapons which are ready to deployed to be used, he says. And with divine garlands, with clothes, with the body paste, with divine fragrance, Lord is full of wonderment and is endless. One cannot see the end of this form. It is seen everywhere because it is Vishwarupa. It's a huge and a giant form. And the face is facing all the sides, Vishwato Mukham, and in a giant form, it's something cannot be described in words. And the light, the radiance of this form is so much that it is now compared with 1,000 suns. The light which is produced by 1,000 suns. Divi Surya Sahasrasya. When thousands of suns arise in the sky at one time, the light that is produced cannot equal to the luminance of this great Lord in his cosmic form. And here what Arjuna is now seeing at one place, he is seeing the complete universe differentiated in all its different forms. Arjuna sees in the body of the Lord of the Deva, that Krishna. Now seeing this Vishwarupa, what happens to Arjuna? He is filled with astonishment and excitement. Rashtaroma Dhananjaya. He bows down, Pranamya Shivasa Devam, and then he now prays to the Lord, sees the greatness of the Lord, makes Arjuna very humble, and now he is going to do a stuti, a praiseful prayer of the Lord. He says, Arjuna says, "Oh Lord, in your body I am seeing all the devas, all the different groups of all this Jiva, Srushti, all the species. I am also seeing Brahmanam Isham, Kamalasanastam. I am seeing Lord Brahmaji is seated on a lotus leaf, and Sarvan Urganshta Divya, all the divine reptiles, all the Rishi Munis. I'm seeing all this." And Arjuna is now describing in his own words what he is seeing in Vishwarupa Darshana. Many limbs, many trunks, many mouths, many eyes on all sides. It's an endless form. There is no end to this. He says, I cannot see the beginning, the presence, and end of this form. And I'm seeing the Vishweshwara, seeing the Lord of the universe, the Nimitta Karana, and Vishwarupa, seeing you as the universal itself, to Upadana Karana. And then he says God is wearing a crown, a mace, with a wheel in his hand, with a Chaturbhut Swarupa, with luminance from all the lighted from all sides. And now Arjuna is having dazzled by the luminance of the light of the radiance of the God. He said it's like burning fire, it is unmeasurable, and it's now he is finding difficult to see the Lord because there's so much of radiance. And then he now prays to the Nirguna Swarupa. Maybe he has closed his eyes because he's not able to see that effulgent Swarupa of the Lord. And now he is describing that you are Param Veditam, Tamasya Vishwasya Param Nidhanam. You are changeless, indestructible. You are the one who is only worth knowing. You are the Param Dhama. You are the final resting place. You are eternal, Shashvata Dharma Gupta. You are the protector of the Sanatana Dharma. You are, that is my firm understanding and opinion. So there are two forms of the Lord, the Nirguna Nirakar Swarupa as the Adhishtan, the Satchit Ananda Swarupa, the Avyakta, which is unmanifest form of the Lord, which is the Adhisthana, the foundation of this universe. And this is something that we have to know. Whereas the other form of the Lords are the Saguna Sakara, Ishwaru, Vishwarupa, Ishwar Swarupa, Avatar Swarupa. All these are Ishwar Swarupa, Abhinna Nimitta Upadan Karana, which can be worshipped, which needs to be devoted to. And then Arjuna is telling Bhagwan that you have no beginning, no present, no end. You have endless courage. You have innumerable limbs. Moon and sun appears as your eyes. That is what Vedas describe Ishvara as. That the moon and the sun are the two eyes of the Vishwarupa. And your faith appears like a lit fire with your radiance. And you are Vishwamidam Tapantam. You are burning this world with a lot of heat because of your Teja. And now Arjuna is starting to feel this distressing form of the Lord. And this is a vision of the cosmic form, that God and world is the same. And this is our final understanding that we need to understand. And we need a pure mind to understand this, because this God consciousness only creates this purity of our mind. And now Arjuna is going to see the other side of this Vishwarupa, where we need to understand that both creation and destruction are the same part of this Almighty. This says this entire space, Arjuna says, between the heaven and the world is pervaded by you alone in all directions, because it's a majestic form. And after seeing this form, ferocious form, Rupam Ugram Tavedam, I am seeing this ferocious form, he says, Pravyatitas Tathaham, I am also getting distress. All the three lokas, Trayam, Lokam, and Aham, everybody is now getting distressed. Pravyatita, they are getting Vyatita. Vyatita means getting distressed, because it's a very difficult to see Nagara Swarupa. And he says now that all this group of Devtas are entering you. Some are singing prayers, some are, the Maharshis are saying, Maharshi Siddha Sangha Stuvantitvam, they are, may Swasti Yukta, may peace prevail. And they are singing all the devotional songs for your praise, he says. And everyone is seeing this grand, astonishing form with bewilderment. The 11 Rudras, Adityas, Vasu, Sadhyagan, Vishwagan, Ashwina Kumara, Marutagan, all these Devatas, they are all astonished to see you, and they are all praying and going down to you. He says, this majestic form with many faces, eyes, hands, feet, abdomen, and with these large teeth, Bahudanstra Karalam, these large teeth with large gums, he says, now I'm getting pravyatitas tathaham. He says people are getting distressed and I'm also getting now distressed. Arjuna is now showing signs of fear and stress because he's now not able to see this ferocious form of the Lord. And then he says, your cosmic form is vast, it is reaching up to the sky, it is very luminous with lot of colors and large glowing eyes I am seeing, and the inner self is now burning, and I cannot get any solace. Dhrutim na vindami shamam cha Vishnu. He says, oh Vishnu, please give me peace. I want to see you quieten down. I don't want to see this ferocious form of yours. He says, oh Lord of Devas, oh Lord of the world, seeing your ghastly form with giant mouth, teeth, your face and burning fire, I have no sense. Disho na jane na labhecha sharma. I have no sense of any directions. I don't know what benefit I am going to get. There is no happiness. Please, prasida devesha jagannivasa. He says, please quieten down, Bhagwan. Have grace on me. Please calm down. Don't show me this ferocious form. I am not able to see this. And now he's seeing that all the sons of Dhritarashtra, kings, all the Bhishma, Drona, Karna, all the main warriors are being sucked into the mouth of the Lord, the Vishwarupa, with the force of great attraction, with large scary teeth. Some are stuck in the mouth. And Kechid Dulagna Darshanantareshu Sandrashyante Churnita Iruttamangaihi. He says some heads are seen shattered to pieces like churna. They become like powder form and they are stuck there and God is eating, and it's a very, very ferocious form that he says he's describing. And then Arjuna gives two examples what he's seeing, just like he gives an example of rivers, how they go towards the ocean with a lot of force, just as all the rivers with the gush, with the flow, they naturally flow towards the ocean. Similarly, the strong warriors, all this Bhishma, Drona, Karna, they are all entering your mouth, which is in fire. And the other example he gives is the moths or the flies, which get attracted towards the light. Just like these moths are forcefully attracted towards the light and fire, and they cause their own destruction. Similarly, all these warriors, all these people, for their own destruction, they are rapidly entering your mouth by force. And then he says, I'm not able to see this form. You're licking and eating them thoroughly. All these people who are entering your mouth, Leli Hasan, you are enjoying this, O Vishnu. Entire world is filled with your radiance, and this severe heat, Pratapanti Vishnu, Bhasasta Vogra, he says, is causing a lot of distress for me. Bhagwan, please have mercy on me. He says, Akhyayami Meko, Bhavan Ugra Rupo. I don't know who are you in this ferocious form. I've never seen you like this. Arjuna says, I bow down to Namostu Tete, Deva Paraprasida, you have mercy on me. Vignatum Ichchami Bhavantamagyam. Please tell me, who are you? Nahi prajanami tava pravrutim. I don't know your actions. I don't understand your actions. Who are you? And then Bhagavan now starting to describe his own self in the Vishwarupa, in that cosmic form. He says, Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Kalosmi Loka Kshaya Krut Pravruddho Lokan Samahartumiha Pravruttaha Rute Pitvam Na Bhavishyanti Sarve Yeva Sthitaha Pratyani Keshu Yodhaha. Lord says, I am Kalosmi, I am Kal, I am the Sakshat, the death personified. Loka Kshaya Krut Pravruddho. I have worked to destroy people, I massacre people. That is my job, he's telling Arjuna. And all those warriors in the opposite army, Drona, Bhishma, with whom you don't want to fight, they are not going to remain in the future. You have just seen it that they are going to get destroyed very soon. And this is the understanding that we must have, that even in the death, if we can see the Lord, the divinity, that, because creation, destruction are two sides of the same coin. Life and death are very similar events and natural events, but they assume enormous proportions, because when death occurs to some of our near and dear ones, we are attached to them. There is that mamatva, there is that attachment, and this causes that invalid insistence, stubborn attitude, where we don't want to lose them, we don't want them not to be with us, and these are our biggest obstacles in our life. And then now Bhagavan tells Arjuna, he says, be an instrument, nimitta matra bhava. Savya Sachin gives a beautiful message to Arjuna how we should live our life. He says, tasmato muttishta yasholabhasva. Get up and fight this war. Do your duty, Arjuna, and achieve this yasholabhasva. Get this fame, get this honor for doing, and win over your enemies and enjoy this prosperous kingdom. Because all these warriors are already destroyed by me. You just have to do some drama and just kill them. But they are already destroyed by me. That's why do your best. Nimitta matram bhava savya sachin. Do your role in this drama and do your best like an instrument. This is the call to all of us, that we should work like a nimitta matra. That is, It is everything is happening through us. I'm the instrument. I'm the instrumental cause for whatever I'm doing. I should not blame others for whatever happens. Forgive others, and this helps us to dissolve our ego that I am something, and which is our biggest obstacle, because we know that many factors affect the outcome of whatever happens to us. Apart from my own efforts, there is destiny, there is a help from a lot of other team persons, and that's why I should learn to share this credit with others wherever there's some appreciation or some fame comes to me. And I must accept that higher power in our life, which is the doer of everything. I am not the doer of them. With this understanding as an instrument, we have to try to work. Nimitta matram bhava sabya sachin, he says. And then it says, Drona, Bhishma, Jayadratha, Karna, all these are already killed by me. You kill them, don't have any fear or distress, and do your duty with the instrumental Nimitta Matra Bhava. And then Sanjay is now describing, he's saying that after listening to these words, Arjuna is there standing with folded hands, he's trembling, he bows down again to Krishna and becomes very emotional, and there is a lot of fear. Bhita Bhita Pranamya. He bows down again to Krishna and he tells Bhagavaan, Krishna, Sthane Rishikesha, please come back. Sthane, everything is appropriate. I can see everything. He says, singing glory of your deeds, people feel elevated, develop love and attachment for you. The demons fear you and run in different directions, whereas the wise worship you. Everything is Sthane, everything is appropriate. This is what we need to understand. That is another message that Krishna is giving, that everything is Sthane, everything is at its own place, it is fine. As we call it, life is full of dualities, many disturbances happen, but everything is Sthane. We have to do our best and leave the rest to the Almighty and accept whatever comes to us, thinking that it's okay, all is well, there is no problem. And this we can understand if we truly accept this divinity, accept myself completely and be open for change. And then how can one not bow to you? Arjuna says to Krishna that you are the beginning, as Brahmaji, you are the best teacher, you have many different forms, you are the Lord of Devas, you are the home to the entire world. I now understand you are truth, illusion, Sat, Asat, Aparam Yata, all forms, everything is you. You are the beginning, you are the complete being, you are changeless, you are the final home, you are the Drashta, you are the knower of everything, you are Chaitanya, you are the Drashya, you are this, one who sees, and one is the seer and the seen, everything. You are worth knowing and you are the final destination. You are manifested it all, and the entire world is pervaded by you. And that is what he says. I can see you that you are in the wind god, you are the god of death, in the fire god, water god, moon god, Brahmaji, great grandfather. That's why he says, I bow down to you 1,000 times. That is what our Sanatan Dharma says, that divinity is everywhere, and we should try to look for this with a lot of faith and devotion and surrender with this to the. So Arjuna tells, again bows down to Krishna. He bows to you from the front, from behind. He says, you are endlessly strong, you are very bold, you accept one and all, you are pervaded in all, you are the Atman of all, you are the manifest as all, everything is you. And then Arjuna asked for the presidential pardon. Only the president of the country has the right to pardon. Here it's the Lord of this universe has only the power to pardon the mistakes for us. He says, understanding you as my Sakheti Matva Prasabham Yatuktam. Hey Krishna, hey Yadav, hey Sakheti. I may have told you or called you by names, oh Krishna, oh Yadav, oh friend, when you were as a friend to me. Now I know that you are the eternal Ishvara Tattva, you are Vishwarupa. I may be either by Pramadat, either by my laziness, or Pranayena Papi, by my extreme affection for you. I may have called you by these names. Even in a lighter mood, I may have disregarded you while we have Vihara, we have gone out together, Shaya, Sana Bhojaneshu, when we are living together, sleeping together, sitting together, eating together. I may have, disregarded you. Please forgive me. O Achyuta, you are beyond evidence, you are Aprameya. You are the Father to this living, non-living world. You are respectable, you are a great teacher. There is no one similar to you in these three lokas. You have immense splendor, and that's why I go down to you, I sing your glory. And as a father forgives his son, as a friend forgives another friend, as a lover forgives his beloved for their own mistakes, oh God, please bear with me and forgive me for my mistakes. He now prays for the pardon. And seeing I'm very happy, my mind is disturbed because of fear. He says, please come back to your original Chaturabhuj form, O Lord of Devas, Lord of the world, please be pleased. And show me your Chaturabhuj Swarupa with the with Gada, Chakra, and the mace, he says, I want to see your original form with your 1,000 hands, or your original Chaturga Swarupa. Krishna has always been in the Chaturga Swarupa from Arjuna, and that's what Arjuna now wants to see. And now Bhagavan says, Arjuna, pleased by you, I have shown you this divine cosmic form, the Vishwarupa, and this is only because of my yogic powers, and which is a vast, endless beginning of all. And he tells Arjuna that no one apart from you has seen this form in such vividity or vividly. Of course, Mata Yashoda saw this in the mouth of Krishna as a child, but that was only transient. And Duryodhana saw this in the courtroom when he tried to chain Krishna. Krishna showed a jhalak or a transient Virat Swarupa, but otherwise nobody has seen this Vishwarupa or Virat Swarupa ever in this detailed or description. Bhagavan tells Arjuna, and he says that neither by the study of the Veda or by yagna, nor by tapa, dana, yagna, charity or karma, no one, even by tapa, this form is not possible to see in this mortal world by anyone apart from you. You are the most eligible, and that's why I've shown you this form. He says, don't get disturbed, don't get confused seeing my ghastly form. Now let go of all your fear, come back to your happy state, be pleased, and I'm going to now show you my original. He says, Tadeva me rupam idam prapashya. I'm going to come back to my original Chaturbhut Swarupa. And now Sanjay is describing that after this, Vasudeva Krishna telling Arjuna, once again he comes back to his original Chaturbhut Swarupa, and Ashvasayamasa Jabhitamenam to Arjuna, who is having a lot of fear. Bhagavan Shri Krishna gives him solace and says he now assumes his own pleasing Chaturbhut Swarupa. And now Arjuna prays again to Lord. Now in his Chaturbhut Swarupa that he has come back, he now feels very peaceful, and he says, Drashtvedam manusham rupam tava saumyam janardana idanimasmi samvruttaha sacheta prakrutim gataha. He says, after seeing your pleasing and human form, I'm now harsh and better organized. I have regained my consciousness. Sacheta prakrutim gataha. I've come back to my real senses, to my real nature. And he says, Bhagavan is now telling Arjuna that this cosmic form is very rare. Seeing this form is possible only by very great hardships, kathor sadhana. For this eligibility, even devas are always eager to see this form of mind, but they are unable to see this form. Again, he says that neither by Veda, nor by Tapa, nor by Yagna, this form can never be seen, this Vishwarupa Sarupa. And then he describes how we can see this Vishwarupa. He says, Bhaktya Ananyaya Shakyam. Only with Ananya Bhakti, only with that one point devotion, he says it is possible to know me in this Vishwarupa, to see this Vishwarupa. He says, and to understand me Tatvena, in my true reality, what is my Tattva. He says only devotion will make one eligible for this grace. And this Ananya Bhakti is nothing but our committed Bhakti, na Ananya, na Anyan. There is nowhere else our concentration, our mind, our intellect, our devotion is completely God is our first priority, not the priority for which we want something from this material world, and from that we pray to the Lord that please give me this, but we should pray to the Lord just for the Lord itself, to attain the Lord. And this love, respect and devotion is only for the Lord. God is our only goal, not just means to the goal. And this acceptance of all the situations of life without any complaints, blames, and then only this will make us eligible to see this Vishwarupa, where we can see Lord Divinity everywhere in this world. And finally, in the last shloka, Bhagavan Krishna describes the steps of the devotee's journey, the spiritual sadhana or the spiritual path, what needs to be done to attain this divinity. What is this Ananya Bhakti? He has already described before. He again says that those devotees will only be able to attain me, those who do karma yoga, all their matkarma krun, matparamo, they do all their actions with me as offering to the Lord, Ishwararpana Bhavana, who is Madbhakta, who is my devotee, who is surrendered to me, Sangha Varjitaha, who does everything without attachment. There is no Sangha, there is no Raga, there is no Ichha, and there is no Dvesha, Nirvaira. There is no Dvesha, there is no animosity for any beings, sees that one divinity everywhere and relates to everyone in that same way. Then only that is possible to see me in this Vishwarupa Darshana. And the 12th Adhyaya, Bhagavan is now going to describe, it's called the Bhakti Yoga. It's going to be a detailed description of what kind of devotion or bhakti we should do, what is that understanding with which we can devote and connect with the Lord. With this, we come to the end of the 11th Adhyaya. Om Tat Sata. इति श्रीमद् भगवद गीतासु उपनिषत्सु ब्रह्म विद्यायां योग शास्त्रे श्री कृष्णार्जुन संवादे विश्वरूप दर्शन योगो नाम एकादशोऽध्यायः. Would like to pay my gratitude towards the Lord, with whose grace everything is possible, with this Guru Shishya Parampara through which this knowledge is transmitted so as to reach us. I pay my respects to my Guruji, Puja Guruma, with whose grace I am able to learn the scriptures and share this understanding with you. Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Parah Brahma, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.